Hi guys, how are you?
Hi,
Good. How are
Rachel.
you?
I'm doing great. So to start, as a 30-something-year-old who is part of the Dead Dad Club, unfortunately felt so seen in a movie
Uh,
where it was a messy 30-year-old kind of going through the grieving process. So I wanted to ask you both, when you are in movies that show 30-year-olds as not perfect kind of adults, which I feel like is what we've seen in media for a really long time, how exciting is it for you as actors to get to show those different sides of what like aging and being an adult means, since we don't really get to see it that much, especially for 30-something-year-olds.
uh, good question, and also so sorry.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm so sorry.
but yeah, I mean, I felt like it was just really, obviously, Ricky and Glenn are two guys who are really struggling and going through something, but it was also really important to us to make it clear that Tally and Rosie, the parts Maya and Kristen play, are also going through it, and that these guys are not the heroes of their story. If anything, they're burdened. So I feel like with all the characters, there's just this feeling of groundedness and dimensionality that we're only getting a glimpse of in this story.
Yeah. For me, I think 30s is kind of a second adolescence. Like I mean, or maybe it's a third adolescence. Like I felt like I've gone through multiple adolescences since 13 because it is a time of transition and sort of, you're finding your place in the world, you're finding what you like, what you stand for, all these things. And so it can and people die and you friendships break up or what all these things can happen. So I think anytime that's explored in a movie and when you're actually that age, it's great.
And I wanted to ask you guys because I know you probably got all of the questions, or you're going to get all the questions about working together as a couple, because I know that's what is more interesting to people. But I want to ask you an actory question about that, because it's always interesting when actors have to build relationships or build backgrounds for their characters. And how is it doing that as people who do know each other so well and know each other so intimately, getting to build characters together, already having the like easy, nice to meet you stuff kind of done?
Well, it was interesting because I feel like when we actually had to film the scene where we first meet, our chemistry was almost too comfortable. Like it was almost like we were a couple already. And I remember getting that note from people being like, it looks like you guys, like the kiss isn't a first kiss and you have to like,
Mm,
and that was interesting to have to like rejigger that sort of, what is that like when we first kiss or when you first meet someone? But yeah, like getting to do the scenes with you when you see Tally at her house and she has a baby, like it was just I trust him so much. So it's such a privilege to be able to do scenes like that with him because I'm like looking into someone's eyes that I like trust intrinsically. Like it's my partner. So, in many ways. So I feel like it was really great and lent itself well to that.
totally, and I mean, I feel the same, and it's when you know people, when you have a history together personally, and it only informs the work that you're doing. Like, even if Maya and I were playing, antagonists to one another,
Right.
like if she was playing a villain or if I was playing a villain, it I mean, it is antagonistic in a certain way, but even if we were playing, these parts that, where we have to not have chemistry, I think any personal history um, informs an on-camera chemistry, whether it's supposed to
Yeah.
be intimate or inintimate. I think it only helps.
Adds depth to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100% agree, and I can't wait for everyone else to get to see Sacramento. And so, thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you guys. Have a great